Lehanyesi alupe, fiukumisi anemafua. Onesi utaka, otu ula isuba. Tapae uhila, fakalava aifofua. Kifakaha ele, si ipele o malaikula. O nilau ai fepale. Maheni nilau minitipe. Ikai keru ilo pengalo afe. Alua katenofo hopo ate. Sai ko walinga singa diko di madara. Nisarui vosa diko ngai delani rombuyara. Matava sochi peka kodanga yataka. Nalenga kere ni damamu opole mugolada. Numbu itau, sai konobu seni tau tau. Namada merumo mosindina sarveya. Vakau asiminano mui vakarau. Enano nidau yarumamarau. Lomo chino matangi lele. Kotala ua awe maine. Etama whanau. Samoa ua whai mosei. Lauta aloa maliro. Alo sa ilimalo. Ua iloai. Samoa I omao. Ua patili mama tau toto si toea ina. A ole tina watutulu ai ua le pisa. Ioko uli uli lo chino. Ai mala mala mau umata tama Samoa. Se ia tapito toala.
welcome to our Pacific Islanders broadcast. And today is May 19th. It's a Wednesday from the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. We're so glad that we are still alive and well and be able to share some relevant information with everyone. And welcome to the Pacific Islands broadcast. Again, today is May 19th, and we'd like to welcome, we have Pastor Noah from Nigeria community and Mara Andrews. And also, we have other people that will join us in a few minutes here. But we'd like to ask Pastor Noah, could you say a little word of prayer to begin our program with, and then we'll continue on. Thank you, Pastor Noah.
Our Father and our God, we thank you for a moment like this. We bless your name. We worship you. There is none like unto you. Father, we thank you because you have spared our lives. We are not better than those who have gone. Father, thank you for our families. Thank you for all that you have given to us. Even at this time, with all the hardship of rental problem, thank you for giving us a good government that will look into the affairs of the poor. Help us, O Lord, for all that are coordinating the rental assistance program from the highest to the lowest. Father, guide them that they will do all to the glory of your name. We pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And before we start, we have a little Pacific Islands melody, melodious song, just to wake everybody up. And now we're back to our broadcast, and we have the great topic. The topic that we're going to share today is about eviction prevention and rental assistance program. We want to thank to the staff of the King County Public Health, to Christina Predict. Christina Predict is a public health information officer with Public Health Seattle and King County, and she will provide some quick updates on COVID-19 in King County. And so I'll play the song and then we'll continue on. But thank you everybody for joining in. So please stay tuned, and I would like to welcome Sina Aloitafuna to invite Pekka she's the leader of the Tongan community in Seattle, Washington. And also we have Mark Ellabrook. Mark Ellabrook is with King County, and he is here today to talk about the new eviction prevention program. Before we continue on, we'll take a little 1 minute break here to bring us the spirit of our Pacific Islands melodious music. All right, here we go. Toso Toso from the islands of Fiji. So much. And Sina, I think you have the question on your phone that we forwarded to you. And we'd like to welcome everybody that are on, like Mara, Christina. Um, so before we continue on, I'd like to welcome everyone. Thank you, Christina, for organizing and putting this great relevant program to for our Pacific Islanders community. I'd like to ask, what is the most recent status of COVID-19 in King County, and what should the people be doing before we continue on to the eviction prevention program? Everybody are waiting for that.
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you. We're so glad to be here, and I'm happy to provide an update on that. So what we are seeing in King County is fantastic news. As the rate of vaccines go up, we're seeing proof within our community that the vaccines are working. So in this past week, King County has seen the 7-day average for COVID-19 cases drop from 403 to 213. So that is fantastic news. And in the past 2 weeks, hospitalizations have dropped by 35%. So that shows us the vaccines are working. It shows us that continued vigilance is working, wearing your mask. The CDC made an announcement last week that people no longer have to wear masks indoors, but also that depends on local vaccine rates and case rates, and those should be taken into consideration as well. So right now, Dr. Jeff Duchin, who's the health officer for Public Health Seattle King County, is recommending that all people continue to wear masks indoors when in public settings. So if you're fully vaccinated with friends and families in your home, it's fine not to wear a mask. But if you're in a grocery store or a coffee shop or a public setting, he's still recommending masks until everybody in King County has access to be vaccinated. We know that masks work, we know that they're effective, and we know that they'll keep everybody protected until we can make the larger changes.
Thank you so much, Christina, and I really appreciate all of this great information. Uh, as you talk about, it's still required for us to wear the mask, but we're getting, to a lot better now. Christina, do you know any time soon that we may be coming up, and not wearing the mask, or what's the most update, from the governor?
Yeah, right now, for the state, they're following CDC guidelines. Within King County, as I shared, Dr. Jeff Duchin he strongly believes that masks should be worn in public settings. So there may be more information on that soon as we review what the CDC has said and what's happening in King County. So we have different marks. The governor has said June 30th for a full reopening, or when 70% of the population is vaccinated. And we can have the full reopening, but still wear masks inside. That just means businesses can have more people inside of them. But no, right now we do not have any firm timelines coming up for what we know aside from the June 30th date.
Okay, thank you so much, Hange ko na mo to whanau mai ki ai, mahak whawhawhua tai min ko sune ahua tolu, na o mai hatutu uni ke o te tautu ngawe a ke ngai mass. Pea ko ia ko tau polkalama ma ke hea mo keep sharing our program, because we have some great information about eviction prevention program. Anything else that you want to share, Christina, before we hop on to the next one? The eviction prevention program. Sina, do you have anything to ask at this time? Or you wanted to wait for the next one? Who is on? Oh, that's Mara, Christina. Okay. Sina, do you have anything to ask to Christina? She's the Public Health Information Officer. Just any relevant information to apply ke kau oldest ke ngawe
Hi, Chris.
tolo.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Christina. I'm Sina. I'm
Tongan
one of the
community
volunteer who take part of Tongan Senior in the Seattle community here. My quick question is, even though majority of our seniors had completed first and second doses, but right now, I believe is um, they're scared. I don't know how you word it. They're scared to come out. They're scared. They still feel that loneliness inside them. I also had to redirect them and let them know it is okay, but inside their in their mind they're not okay. So if they're not okay, I'm not okay. I have to make sure that they are fully comfortable to come out of their zone, come out of their house. Because right now we are not opening our senior program due to the pandemic, and they are the most vulnerable in our community. So they are the last one to be reopened, even though they reopened it on June 30th. But to tell you the truth, our seniors are still gonna have to stay put and put fully mask on before anybody else. So, so is there any feedback that I can take back with me, telling them, letting them know that this is the we are beginning to see the light of the tunnel. We're gonna see it coming. It's just, if they're not, if they have to be out of their zone and not afraid, and let them know it is okay. What are most encouraging wording that I can share with them weekly, and let them know that this is a lead on to them seeing the other side of the tunnel, and we'll be reopening the program again.
Yeah, we appreciate your work, and we know that's really difficult, especially for a really vulnerable population, just to think of things changing again and to go out in public. And it's okay to be cautious still, and maybe taking small steps. But I think the one piece of encouragement that we're really seeing is in April, cases were increasing. And then as vaccine availability began to grow and more people had access, we saw cases stay even and they plateaued. And now that a large number of people are getting vaccinated, we're seeing those cases drop. And that's not just King County, that's all over the country are seeing similar trends to that. So what that shows us is that the vaccine is effective in protecting people from COVID-19 infection, and it makes a big difference. So I think that's one of the most encouraging things that can be shared with people who are nervous about going out in public again and about the reopening. But small groups of vaccinated people are okay without masks, and sometimes that's a great place to start, just with small conversations or outdoor gatherings. But yes, I think it's completely okay to still be very cautious and wear your mask when you go out, and to take social distancing measures, and to still be careful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just also like a little few seconds here that we'll take another little Pacific melody, and then we'll continue on with Mark Ellerbrook. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you.
Little Pacific melody.
Oh my, oh hange hango elile, opehe hange mai ke hopo maupe, fulauka pasamehe halata ufa, ameli kalahimo ono fulaua.
Again, thank you, and thank you for all the time that you take to contribute all this great information to our Pacific Islanders community. Now we have Mark Ellerbrook. Hello, Mark. And Mark Ellerbrook is with King County and is here today to talk about a new eviction prevention program. Mark, can you tell us a little bit about what you do with the King County? And,
Sure.
And then after that, I will let Pastor Noah, he's from Nigeria community in the King County. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. And thanks for having me today. It's great. Again, my name is Mark Ellerbrook, and I am the Division Director for Housing, Homelessness, and Community Development for King County's Department of Community and Human Services. And so all of the programs that kind of address affordable housing and homelessness and homeless prevention sort of sit within our division, and that includes our eviction prevention program.
Thank you so much. Mark, and what is the King County's eviction prevention rental assistance program?
Yeah. So this is a program that we actually started last year, and it basically is a program that provides rent assistance for households, families, or single people who are behind on rent. So basically makes a payment on behalf of those tenants to the landlord so that they are caught up on their rent. And they're able to meet their obligations and they're able to stay in their home. We're able to make payments for both rent and for utility. And they're really ways where, COVID-19 has impacted the ability of a family because either they're sick or maybe they're unemployed, they lost a job because of COVID, really designed to help those folks. We were able to help about 9,000 households in the fall. And are looking to kind of build on that from here.
Thank you so much, Tino, for all this great information and all the rental assistance. So I'll let Pastor Noah from the Nigeria community here in Washington State. Pastor Noah, could you come on and ask your question or any information that you need to know? Pastor Noah, are you listening?
Yes, I'm over here. Yeah, I'm listening. I have two questions. One for the COVID-19, and the other one will be for the rental assistance. For the COVID-19, my question will be: I know that there is two different. There are several producers of the vaccine, like the AstraZeneca and then the Pfizer. Now, my question is, if one takes the first dose, maybe Pfizer, can he or she take AstraZeneca vaccine? Can they be mixed up?
I know.
We'll be able to want that, because we're talking, Pastor No, we're talking about eviction prevention rental assistance, but you're asking about the vaccine. I'll let Christina answer that. Sorry,
Please.
Mark.
All good.
That's a great question. The answer to that is what's authorized in the U.S. right now is Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. And the quick answer is no. It's recommended that you keep the same brand for both doses.
Okay.
Okay. And if it's a matter of convenience, Johnson & Johnson is great just to have one shot and then to be fully vaccinated 2 weeks later, you'll have full protection.
Okay. Now to the rental assistance, my question is, what is the duration of the assistance? I know the moratorium or something of that nature is going to be ending in July, and after July, maybe there will be mass eviction and all of that. So how does it cushion the post-COVID effects?
Yeah, great question. I'm happy to provide an answer to that and then also provide a little bit more context around the program. So the program is designed to pay up to 9 months past due rent and 3 months forward rent. So if folks are behind, 4, 5, 6 months, the program is able to pay for those for that past rent. And then knowing that people may still be trying to get back on their feet or kind of finish the recovery from their illness, the program actually will pay the next few months' rent as well to provide, I think exactly your word, Pastor Noah, a cushion for households so that they're able to focus on getting that job or getting healthy and then be able to kind of get back on their feet and be able to make those payments. So that's kind of how the program is designed. If I might, Sylvia, just provide a little bit more information on the program and maybe put a couple things in the chat too, so that folks have a little more information.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
so the program really operates in 3 models. We're partnering with a lot of what we call large landlords, folks that property owners that have 5 or more housing units, really to get the program jump started and help a lot of tenants who are in these bigger buildings. And so that's allowed us to already be able to work with over nearly 1,500 landlords throughout the county to begin to assist people who are at risk of eviction. Starting yesterday, we actually have a way for tenants to sign up directly for assistance, and this is what we call our tenant portal. I'll put the link to that in the chat for everybody so that you were able to provide that. But this is a place where people who are behind can go and sign up directly for assistance. And then what the county is going to do is that every week we're going to draw folks from that pool of applicants and work to get people assistance. And we will keep doing that every week so that we're able to help as many people as we can. And then I think the last thing that I want to say, because one of the things that we've added to the eviction prevention rent assistance program this time around is a lot of work with community-based organizations where, and we know this is a place where a lot of families may already have relationships. And so if folks are working with, community-based organizations, they should absolutely be asking that organization, are you part of the county's eviction prevention rent assistance program? Because if they are, then they can get assistance directly from that community-based organization. If they're in touch with a community-based organization and they're not signed up, the county is actually still offering an opportunity for some of these community-based groups to sign up through the end of this week. So I'm going to put the link in the chat about how to, if folks have an agency they're working with, how to kind of connect to that. So I'm going to drop that in here too, if I can actually make my computer work. So I will do that piece. And then, so actually, maybe I'll just stop there and see what additional questions that folks have.
Yes. Thank you so much for the response. Because I'm a nonprofit 501c3, so last time when they started the program, I reached out and then there was a condition they had that time that I have to deposit. Maybe if I wanted 5 million to walk on the ground, then I have to make it. I didn't have 5 million at that time, so I didn't participate. So at this time, is it on that same condition that they rolled it out before?
Yeah, so thank you for raising that. And that was a condition that happened with the money in the fall. The county, we've worked out a way where agencies don't need to do that anymore. The county actually will make the payments directly to the landlord. And so we can work with, a much smaller organization who, as you say, Pastor Noah, doesn't have $5 million on hand to deposit it, that really is just working with the people and supporting them, getting them signed up in the program, and then, helping people get eligible, and then we make the payment. So you don't have to be, so whatever agency doesn't need to post that money. So I think, I put the link in the chat as a place, whether it's your organization or another one to get connected to for the nonprofits to sign up and get connected to the program, because ultimately we want to make sure that we're getting a good, we're casting a wide net, but we're also casting a deep net in the places where there are specific groups that have, are in relationship with particular communities or populations.
Okay.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, I'm happy to repeat it. So the way that folks can participate is that you can go to the King County website. I'll list it. I put it in the chat. I'll also read it off so that folks who are listening immediately can get it. And then you can sign up at that location for assistance. The website is rent-help.kingcounty.gov. I'll just say it again. It's rent-help.kingcounty.gov. You folks can go there, complete some of the questions and a little bit of the form, and then that will get you registered and can go from there. One thing I should also mention is that the website is available in English and Spanish, but we do have the ability to help folks who need assistance in other languages. And I will put in the chat here the number for language assistance. I'll also tell folks what it is. It's 206 477 1331. And I will put that in the chat for folks to get assistance as well if they need it in an alternative language than English or Spanish.
477 1331.
Yep. So, and again, that's just to be clear, that it's not to sign up for the program. That's really to get the alternate language support. The program sign up is through the website.
Oh, okay.
So just want to make sure that that's clear as well. So, and again, I'll just give folks the website one more time. It's rent-help.kingcounty.gov.
Okay. I think everybody got that. You just go to rent-help.kingcounty.gov. And the 206-477-1331 is an alternate support.
Yes, for languages.
For languages, eh? Wonderful. Okay, we put it up, here. There's tons of groups that are just like tuning in, here, but we'll make sure that we are going to pass this out. Okay, I want to give this opportunity to Malia that she's on. Malia, go ahead. If you have a question right now, go ahead, Malia, and ask your question. Malia?
Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, got it. You hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Tima. So this question is question is to Christina. Hi, Christina. Christina, I have a question in regards to COVID. So I don't know exactly if I'm supposed to address this to you or it's. I just wanted to know in regards to the COVID vaccination, pertaining to if you have any report, pertaining on people with pre-existing condition, and also with blood clots, because I remember that those are some of the main issues that other people were afraid of taking these vaccination. Is there any report on how safe it is, guaranteed, in terms of such people with those health conditions?
Yeah, no, thank you. That's a great question. And I think it's something that's on a lot of people's minds as they consider the vaccine. If you have an underlying condition or a concern, it's recommended that you speak with your care provider who's helping you with that condition, and they can give you the best advice about whether the vaccine is right for you or not. Overall, it's been showing to be very safe and effective, all 3 vaccines that are authorized right now, and they've been approved for people who are 12 years and older and been shown to be safe across a wide variety of people, including people who are pregnant or nursing. But if there's a specific concern, definitely speak with your primary care provider and get their opinion. Johnson & Johnson was paused so people could review the side effects. And part of that pause was making sure physicians knew what to look for and who that vaccine was safe for and who might be of greater risk. So your physician or care provider will have all of that information.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Malia, for joining in. We'll continue on with the eviction prevention rental assistant, but Malia is one of the leaders from the Samoan community, and she also worked with the PICOWA, which is Pacific Islands Community Association of Washington State. Thank you, Malia. Just stay tuned. I'll let Sina, because she's also the leader for the Tongan Senior Community Association of Seattle, Washington. Sina, do you have a question to ask?
I have a question to Mark. I don't know if this question is important or maybe it's not important, but rental assistant, with our culture, we like to stay together. And then, let's say, put myself as an example. It's not happening, but it could be happening to one of the, other Islanders family. I have a house and I have my kids who are out there, have their own apartment, and then something happened. They lost their job, hours, and they want to come back home. And they want to, Mom, can I rent my room back? Is there assistance for, as a homeowner, for myself to help, with having family members who you rent your house to, or your rooms, or is it particularly only for apartments and big buildings with more than 5 rooms to rent out? Can you give me a feedback on that so I can share with my seniors?
Yeah, happy to do that. And thanks for the question. It's a good question. So it is not exclusively for apartments or, rooms or, separate dwelling units within a home. It actually can be for rooms within a house.
Okay.
The key piece of that is that there needs to be some form of agreement about the rent of that space. And so, it doesn't necessarily have to be a lease in all of the, of all of the components that are a lease, but you need to be able to show some kind of agreement for that space. And then a key component of the program, of this iteration of the program, is that the payment goes to the landlord. And so that's why it's important that we be able to see that agreement. And we do that also because that provides a protection for the tenant. If we make the payment to the landlord, whether they're renting a room or a whole apartment, we can then request that the landlord not evict that person for a period of months, and so it actually serves a couple of different purposes.
Okay, thank you. It makes a lot of different. It's just to give us an ease way because of us Pacific Islanders. We love our kids. We love our family. We surrounding them. Anything that we can help. If we have room, we'll rent it to uncle, we'll rent it to auntie, and as long as we have the understanding that it can, easily happen, we have that opportunity to share with them. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Just like 10 seconds, please, Mark. We wanted to keep the spirit, going, just a 10-second with the Pacific Melodious, we continue on. Yeah. Pacific Melodious. 10 seconds. Stretching.
Okay.
Thank you, Sina.
Nehanyesi alope Fiukumisi anemafua Onesi utaka Otu ula isuba Tapae uhila Fakalaba ahifofua Kifakaha ele Sipele omala ekula
Okay, well, thank you again, Tino. Ko whiwha manata tai be ko tau kai ngatonga ko tau be o ku whanongo. Ko ta haine one of the top best topic for you guys, and everybody are really tuning in because of the rental assistance program. That we have Malia again, from the Samoan community, from the Pacific Islands Community Association of Washington. Malia, I know you're waiting. Go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Sylvia. This question is for Mark. Mark, I've got a question. First of all, I appreciate the information in regards to the rent assistant for our community. So my question is, because I've got a few of my PIs that are like 3 to 6 months behind of their rent due to being laid off from work. And so I hear that so it is guaranteed that all of that back rent can be paid, right?
Back to 9 months. So we can look back 9 months.
Okay, awesome. Is there any
That's amazing.
Is there any way what are the best way for them to guarantee that, or is there any are there any things that would disqualify them in terms of getting that assistant? Or
Yeah, got it. So excellent question. So a few components. One, we are trying to focus the program on the folks who are in the greatest need in our community. And so for us, that's folks who are at the lower income level. So 50% of our area median income and below, which is, about $30,000 or $40,000 per year. Depending on how many folks that live it, and then folks live in a household, and then folks who have had impacts due to COVID. And Malia, you pointed to them. I've lost my job because of COVID, that sort of thing. So those are some of the priorities for the program. I think there isn't a guarantee that everyone can get assistance, and I will just say that the need in our community is great, and even though we have a sizable amount of money this year, about $150 million that we're going to be able to put out into the community, our sense of the problem is that it is much larger than that. So that being said, we certainly are encouraging as many people as possible to apply for the program. We can get people into the system. They can get drawn out either, as I said, it's kind of from that tenant process where we will be drawing people out every single week to provide assistance. And so people can get help through that, or through our hub program, where we've got groups who are registering as community-based hubs, including groups like the White Center Community Development Association and others, who will be able to assist folks as well. So that's really what we're encouraging folks to do. And our expectation, just to say it, is that we will likely be getting more assistance that we can put into this program, in the future months. And so our hope, of course, is to help as many people as we can. We can't guarantee that everybody will be helped, but certainly want people to apply.
Okay.
thanks, Mark. So Mark, so we can have them go on this website, or we can also assist them on getting to apply for it on this website. Or where does the landlord come in? Do we tell them to go to the landlord? Does the landlord have the application for them to fill out? Is that
Yep.
another way of doing it?
Good questions. So, and there's two answers to that. The first is that if they are, if they live in, a larger building, right? So a 10-unit building, it could be a 100-unit building. It's very possible that we've already connected with the landlord, and the landlords obviously know who is behind rent in their building. And so that process is ongoing. And if they do live in one of those larger buildings that's part of our large landlord program, the landlord and the program folks will be reaching out to those tenants to get the information they need to pay the rent. So that's one piece. If they're either in a building that the landlord is not participating, or they live in a building that's 5 units or smaller, that's when they should go and register themselves for the program. They certainly can talk to their landlord. It wouldn't hurt to say that the county's operating a program, and and they're going to apply for it. But I think the responsibility in that point really should be on the tenant to go to the website that we've talked about, put in the chat, to get themselves registered.
Okay. So what if I was to assist them? Do I need to communicate just to get an insurance from the landlord, or I still have them to get on the website? Because some of them are having communication issues. So would it be better that I have them go on the website, or would I need to communicate with the landlord if they're on with this program, and I can assist them in any kind of form, filling out form?
Yeah. So why don't we, I think, Malia, I totally get your question. I think one is if they can go to that system and make it work, that's fine. But I totally hear you, like that doesn't always work, or there's communication issues. So I think if you, why don't you and I connect, and I will put, Malia, for you, I'll put my email in the chat and you can email me, and then I can get you connected to folks in the program who can then figure out how to help you with that piece of it, and how best to support the folks that you're talking with. So I will type my email address in here. You can shoot me an email and I will get you connected to the right folks.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
That was a great information. That's very, very relevant. Thank you so much. Yeah, Malia, does that answer all your question?
Yes, I wanted to chip in something because like my organization is interested. So I know he's talked about sending out his email information. I would like to also get some information on my organizational level, how I could participate in all of this.
Yeah, he's going to put out, his email and share all this information to, and you guys can contact him directly. But we try to put it out, because I think first of all you go to the rent-help.kingcounty.gov, and there is also different languages, with the phone number 206-477 and I'm sorry,
1331.
1331. Okay, there you are, Sina. Yeah. So anyway, Pastor Noah, do you have another question before we move on?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I have Latu Huakau. She's asking the question. Some of the listeners have been affected by COVID-19, but did not apply at all for rental assistance, and it's up to date with payments of rent. However, they have used all their savings. Can they still get rental assistance?
Good question. I appreciate where folks may be having used up all their savings. So the answer for that is no. So this program is for folks who are behind on their rent, because what we're trying to do is prevent those households from being evicted, and obviously non-payment of rent would be a major indicator or reason behind evicted. So if folks are current, this program is not designed to assist those.
Okay, thank you. I have a question. I know you mentioned it earlier. Um, okay, I know you did mention it earlier, but I just wanted to ask, how about if it's a person that not able, it's not the rent, but like a house owner, like you cannot afford anymore to pay your mortgage during this pandemic. Is that
Yes,
included or only for the people that rent?
I have that question too. Thank you for
Oh,
asking it.
okay, thank you.
Good question. This program is for renters.
Okay, for
Our
renters, eh?
understanding is that there is in the recent money that the federal government has approved that the county has not yet received, there is assistance programs for folks who are facing foreclosure. So that would be people who are behind on their mortgage. We don't have that money yet. But our sense is that we will get that, and then we'll be able to stand up a program to support those folks as well.
Okay, but I think Sina, from the Tongan community leader, she was asking to know if somebody wanted to rent from you, or the family member wanted to come back to the house, so that those parts, that they can apply for the rental assistance, right?
So they cannot apply for it if they are not behind on their rent. So let's say somebody had to move out of their apartment because they couldn't afford it anymore. They moved back into a family member's home.
Right.
They couldn't get assistance just to pay the rent because they wouldn't be behind. So, but let's say that there's a family member who has been renting an apartment or been paying some amount to rent a room in that larger home, and they are behind on that. The program can pay to help that family member as long as there is an agreement, like a lease, for the room that the family member is occupying.
Right. Okay, and I think that the question I also have to know, like when somebody trying to tell you you have to get out, what is the legality condition? Do you know how long can you stay? And I know while you're in the process of applying for the rental assistance, and then the landlord showing up and say, I'm gonna just give you like 2 more weeks and you have to get out. So what are you gonna do at that time?
I think we're going to give them Mark email website and tell them, hey, call this number. You cannot. It's against the law to evict us.
Right. So fair. I mean, I don't recommend that you send out my email because that is an issue for an attorney. And
You're
I'm not
King County.
going...
You're King County.
All the
So
Pacific Islanders will come over
I don't
you're under the big
recommend.
umbrella.
I don't recommend that, but a couple of points on that. One, I think at the moment we are under an eviction moratorium. So it's actually illegal to evict somebody until June 30th of this year. So, I mean, that is just, I mean, unless, there's certain things like damage to an apartment or something like that, but it's illegal to evict somebody right now for non-payment of rent. Mm-hmm. A second thing, we haven't talked about it here, but the county is also putting aside money to assist households who ultimately are facing eviction. So if they aren't able to become current on their rent, and after June 30th, the landlord is saying, I need you to move out, I'm evicting you. We have money that we've put aside to assist households in that way as well. There's information on the King County website about that. And we will be able to support some number of households in the legal process that happens when folks face eviction.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Mark We do greatly appreciate, all this relevant information. You can see how the Pacific Islanders are just coming. They're all sitting in groups, and tuning right now. I think this is one of the most appropriate topic, because it does really apply to them during this pandemic. And I have seen a lot of them already evicted, but I will ask them to, to go ahead and try to, we'll pass this information out because we know that it also applies to almost like 75% of our community. At this time, it will be just a little 10 minutes pause, with the Pacific Melody, and we'll continue on, with Mara Andres because she's waiting. Thank you, Mara, for being patient. Mark Ellerbrook is with the King County and with the Eviction Prevention Program. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
My pleasure. Thank you. Take care.
Okay, you too.
Thank you, Mark.
Bye.
Hi, Malia.
Hi, Tina.
Thank you so much. That was a great first part of the program that we talk about the eviction prevention program with Mark Ellerbrook. And now we're coming to the second part, and thank you so much, Mara Andrews. And we're so sorry, for taking our coconut time, going over your time limit. But we do appreciate, you for waiting and being patient. And Mara Andrews, will now share on nutrition and the connection with the COVID-19. But before we continue on, I wanted to say hello to Elaine Tayone. She's a school teacher all the way from New Zealand. She's tuning in. Frances Roy Takataka, she's the bishop's wife from Church of Jesus Christ. Latu Hakaus is one of our program director, and many others I don't get to see their name, but anyway. Lena Steffen, I think she's really happy to go ahead and try to get the rental assistance. She's doing it right now. That's what she said. And Lupe Prescott is a community leader from Salt Lake City. And Malia is from the Picowa of Washington. Okay, I'm going to ask, Mara Andres, welcome. And can you introduce yourself and tell us about your work with the King County?
Yeah, hi, I'm Mara Andrus, and I'm a nutritionist with King County. So I work with nutrition, and I work with diet, and I do education, and I try to set up programs with fresh fruits and vegetables and get information out to everybody to be healthier. My main focus is with our WIC program for women, infants, and children. And I also work with pregnant mamas and babies, and I'm the breastfeeding I'm the breastfeeding coordinator for our county. Basically, that's my main job. Actually, that's my thing. That's my big passion. But yeah, so that's me, and happy to be here. Have enjoyed the show, and I love the music. Thank you. Yes.
So, first question, what is the connection between healthy diet and weight and the COVID-19?
Well, I would say with COVID-19, the data has shown that if you do have some pre-existing conditions such as obesity, heart disease, lung disease, asthma, things like that, you really do have a higher risk of, if you were to contract COVID-19, to have a more severe illness. And actually, data has shown that over the course of this pandemic, Pacific Islanders have been at a higher risk due to some of those underlying health conditions and higher BMIs just in general. So that has been an issue. And diet can help. Diet really can help. Consistency and keeping your weight at a balanced level. And I know it's been hard during COVID with having to stay home and having to be, kind of change our lifestyles a little bit. It's been an issue for people to stay as healthy as they'd like to.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mara. I have someone on the line. He's also a nutritionist and he wanted to ask a question. Please go ahead and ask your question right now and introduce yourself.
It's me?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Suni Alaulile. I'm from California. My people, including me, we love to have party, get together, wedding, birthdays, and funerals, and we make it like a luau, and we eat out a lot, and a lot of meat, and I get part of the nutrition lady talking about saying that I get excited when I hear her say that she's encouraging people to eat fruits and vegetables. My question is not very hard, but the similarities of COVID-19 with the protein is called fibrin, and another protein called cortisol. I just want to hear it from her, because I think my people will be able to listen and from somebody else who are from their home. And I feel that they should get out from killing themselves to a healthy life.
If that protein is healthy to eat, or
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes, the question is, there's a protein is derived from eating meat and other protein that produce these two proteins is called cortisols and fibrin. Fibrin is, I guess I'll touch a little bit, that it clog up your hand when it's cut, but when it's overproduced in our bodies, it turns into deadly. So I just want to come from you about cortisol and fibrin. I mean, what that actually we love meat ourselves. We eat a lot of meat, and those two proteins is a byproduct of eating meat. And fibrin, I'm not sure what I should explain it, because they wanted to hear it from you.
Well, I'm not exactly sure I'm not sure of the question. I might have to actually look that up to give you a really clear answer. But what I can tell you is you're better off to eat, of course, more fresh fruits and vegetables, and to balance out any protein that you're eating, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't want to overdo that. That would be my balance message, right? But as far as taking any supplements or anything, you want to be real careful. You want to make sure the amounts that you're getting are anything prescribed. You do want to make sure that if you are eating, the protein that you're eating should be lean, not necessarily anything like pig or the really heavy beef, except for maybe a small portion size, like size of the palm of my hand portion size. Otherwise, I would recommend healthy fish, actually, like salmon and things like that. But if you want to spell the fibrinogen thing, the protein you're talking about, I can let you know on that, because I don't want to give you the wrong answer on that.
All right.
Thank you, Mara.
Yeah, and I don't mind answering that. I can give you my information too, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Fibrin is a byproduct of protein from eating meat, and when it's overproduced, it turns into a sticky and thickening the blood, and it causes arthritis.
Oh.
So I would not eat as much of that protein. I would not eat as much meat then, and really, I wouldn't. I would just try to cut that back to, depending on your body size. I mean, a portion size is really just, that much. Not very much.
With it. That's why I'm saying is that I'm glad that you were supporting the eating meat. I'm just like it to hear it from you, because my people they will, if they rather hear from somebody else than hear it from their own. Because
right. Well, fresh fruits and vegetables, and then of course balancing it out and cooking home from home, right? Cooking from scratch as opposed to buying any processed foods. Keep it simple, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, but there is also the toxins and the antibiotics that is in the meat.
Yeah, that's right.
Causing leaky cuts and stop the immune system from harvesting the nutrition. So I'm glad that you support, and I'm glad that you bring up, because fruits are collagens, and collagens, our body is made out of collagens.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can follow your instruction, like you're supporting, like what you said, that instead of moisturing from outside, we are moisturing from inside. And
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And eat high fiber and keep the fresh fruits and vegetables going to keep everything cleaned out, keep your body healthy, and move, walk, and move.
Walk,
yeah.
Huh?
Exercise, very important.
Exercise, eh?
And water.
Okay. Thank you, Sonia.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead, Malia.
Thank you, Sue, for the opportunity. Mara, I have a question. So my question is pertaining to the nutrition program. Do you do workshop with community organizations, or do you have a website, or I'm just asking because during COVID-19, a lot of our elders that stays home, and realizing that you're dealing with a lot of depression when you're alone at home and things like that, and food is a remedy.
Yep.
It's an antidote to deal with loneliness and just not being able to mobilize anywhere. And, even like myself, we've gained a lot of weight because we just stayed home and we work from home and we eat a lot. But I want to see if there's a way that you do have this wonderful up-to-date chart on how to do outreach with our community, and also in terms of translating that. You know what I mean? If you can help me with that as well. So in that way, we can always share those information. And I don't want to ask too much question one on top of the other, because I've also realized that supplemental really has to be prescribed by your doctor in terms of what do you need, because to substitute because a lot of us PIs, we eat a lot of, there's a lot of pork, there's a lot of meat, a lot of frozen food, especially fish, and just really not knowing what is healthy, what is exactly a good healthy meal, so that we are able to do portions of that and how to schedule portions.
Right. We don't have a program like you're asking for, where we have classes right now, or groups where we go out for the whole community, which is especially in language, but it's a possibility. And I do go out and do small talks, but not like to plan specific diets at this point. But we do for kids. We have one called FNEP, and that's through WSU Extension, and they do offer classes in 5 languages, and they do like 7 class series, and then you can get a cookbook, and it ends up being a support group as well. But that's more for kids and moms, right? So I mean, are you asking more for people that need support that are stuck at home, older folks, or is that what you're kind of asking me about?
Yeah. So we deal a
Yeah,
lot more with people that are with underlying and pre-existing
right.
condition, especially from 50 or mid 40s on up.
Hmm.
And a lot of them are dealing with staying home, but they're also PIs and they're dealing a lot, especially with their diet issues.
Hmm.
So I would appreciate if you also have material charts where I can be able to try and translate in our languages. So in that way, we can kind of like share that information. Uh,
I should be able to get you something, so you mean like just for like age 50-ish, like for balanced diet type thing you're asking, a
yeah, yeah,
chart.
all of those things can help in trying to have some sort of programming and just awareness on a lot of what is consuming. It's a
Do you
consumption of.
do you guys have right now? I know that like the senior centers and things are doing meals on wheels, and they're doing lunches and things like that. But did they ever have social gatherings at the senior centers around you or at the
Yeah,
community center?
yeah, a lot of our people really does not utilize Meals on Wheel that much because it really is not serving their diets, um, because they really want to eat their food, but we know because it's a lot of starch and a lot
Hmm.
of this and that, and but we really want to know, how do we do it in portion?
Right.
What is this portion of what? What is this portion of this?
Because
And
in general, do you feel like most of your folks like to cook at home themselves with the food that they get?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's a lot of cooking,
right.
and especially a lot of cooking a lot of frozen food that we're talking about as well, and
Frozen
now we're
foods.
getting a
Yeah.
lot, yeah, and a lot of processed food. So I myself like to be educated more on that and having a little bit more understanding, so I could be able to share that as well with our community.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me see what I can think to send you. Do I send it to Christina or to some information, or can you send me your? Do you want
yeah,
me to
I'll
put my
just post.
email in here?
I'll post my email up here,
Okay,
Mara.
okay. That sounds good. And then I would just, I mean, really, it's really, you need to encourage fresh fruits and vegetables. You cannot go wrong there. And cooking anti-inflammatory foods,
Yes,
sweet potatoes, broccoli, any of those berries,
absolutely.
anything that's like, mushrooms,
Yeah.
and only using like a solid, nice little olive oil and not even much
Right.
of that is the way to go. It really is the way to go.
Exactly. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
A
Yeah.
lot of people have gained weight during COVID.
Yes.
Trust me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I want to get your email here. Hang on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mara. I know this is very, very important. At the same time, that we need to know about our health. I have this little question here. The pandemic has forced a lot of people to change their habit, and like exactly what we just talking about. Like the food is like a wealth to our Pacific Islanders. The more food, that's kind of like that's a socialism. They get together and they eat, and then the more food, that's kind of like make them. It's like any event. It's like the food is almost like the number one. It's that event, will represent, by the food. If the food is good, then we'll talk about it's a good event. If the food is
No,
not
I
good,
understand. Yes,
if it's a light
absolutely.
food, finger food, it's not really a good event, because food is like a wealth for us, and it's a socialism thing. But I love the way you talk about, and this is great information, the healthy eating habits, regaining healthy eating habits. Do you have any recommendation?
Yeah, I would say, like I've kind of said already, drink lots of water, keep
Lots of
active,
water.
even if it's walking just a few blocks and try to keep walking. Work with your group. Like if you live in a family, a multi-generational family, get the kids involved, get grandma out. I mean, try to kind of support each other as a group, right? So that's a good habit. Try to eat 3 meals a day and not processed foods. Try to eat 3 meals of whole fresh fruits and vegetables. This time of year, it's incredible with the amount of fresh fruits and vegetables that you can find out in the community, right? I mean, it's and especially in King County this year, there's a lot of money coming in from the federal government to supply fresh fruits and vegetables with matching programs and the farmers markets and some serious programs out there for fresh fruits and vegetables this year. And so if you can do that and try to eat anti-inflammatory type foods, right? So really good, wholesome foods, cook them lean, cook them together, make a list, make a list so that you know what you're going to get, and think about portion sizes. I know Amelie's asking for what a portion size is, and that is kind of hard to tell sometimes, but it really is important to balance your meals out and not snack on those processed foods. And sometimes drinking the water and exercising can help you to be more balanced. And then I think sleep is super important too. Try to be a little bit. Mm-hmm.
So you recommend, having the good rest, like having an 8-hour sleep and eating 4 meals a day, and drink a lot of
ounces of water,
and then also walking, and those are the things that is very essential, for us during this pandemic.
8 of these a day for water.
Okay, I'm gonna play this little music here, and you ready, Sina, to come on, because I know you work with the senior, and you do want to help them out, make a difference in their lives.
Samoa se ia tafetotoala.
Okay, there it was. Sina, the talent community leader, for the senior. She's happy, and now she's dancing all the way. I think that's Mara? Happiness and then healthy eating goes together, eh?
I think so.
Okay, Sina, go ahead.
Hi, Mara.
Hi.
I'm one of the volunteer who take part in making sure that our seniors are happy. If they're not happy, they will not stay healthy. If they're not, the part of not healthy is food. Those are the kind of things that it's very important to me as a community leader, is to make sure that they eat healthy. And then I want to make sure that the food that we cook for them on a weekly basis is very healthy also. And also the food that's similar to the food that they eat back home.
Right.
So that's the weaknesses of being in this part of taking charge of a volunteer, is to make sure that the food that we cook for our elders, underserved seniors, are healthy, and also a food that they're comfortable eating. And I know that maybe once every 3 months, we'll see a really good island food that comes in, provide nutrition food that we order from the warehouse. And right now, if you see, I'm sure that everybody agree with me, some of the produce boxes and dairy boxes that arranged that we pass out to our community members, maybe half of them are the food that we eat. Meaning, in back home, we don't eat cottage cheese. We don't eat a yogurt. We don't eat, sour cream. So we had to find a substitute for those to make it comfortable for seniors to eat. We
Right.
see meatballs. We don't eat meatballs at home. We don't eat hot dogs at home. So we had to find a similar proteins to take part of take over those, like can of salmon. They
Right.
love salmon. They know how to cook salmon.
Right.
Um,
No,
and
they're
the substitution of yogurt and cottage cheese and sour cream, we use coconut milk. Share with us to make sure that those are the right type of food portion that we, give out to our
coconut milk can
seniors.
be great. Coconut milk can be great. And I think that the salmon is great, and I know that culturally that a lot of folks like the pork, and when it
Yes.
comes down to foods like that are going to be a higher fat food, you really want to watch again the portion sizes. And I'm saying the palm of my hand is like 3 ounces, right? So as you're cooking, and if you're cooking from scratch or cooking the frozen food that comes in, try to cook it lean, and if you have a plate, have at least half of your plate be fresh fruits and vegetables with your meat, right? And then make the starch like a sweet potato or something or even, I don't know, corn isn't something you guys like very much, or do you? It's more.
No, corn is rarely back home in the island.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll eat corn once,
Yeah, that's what
once
I
a
was
month
thinking.
or seasonal type. But we use yam, sweet potato,
Yeah.
green banana, plantain, Hawaiian banana. Those are the kind of that we.
All of those are good, and really it comes down to, again, to the bottom line is the portion sizes. But cooking with coconut water is fine. Coconut milk's fine, and just like you said, trying to avoid the processed foods, trying to substitute those if you can. If you have a choice at the warehouse to get the fish or even canned fish, anything as opposed to just hot dogs would be a better choice, right?
Right.
Yeah. And if you do get that and you have to use that, cut it up, mix it up differently, find a recipe where you spread out anything that's not as healthy as you would want, right? Maybe make a bigger batch and spread out the less healthy choices.
So I also have another question. In the island, we don't have mushroom. We don't use mushroom in part of our vegetables. What are some of the substitutes similar to that? I know we have our greens. We really love greens. So our seniors really love greens. So we try to cook, taro leaves.
Right.
Those are hard to, they're expensive. Those are hard to come. So we had to find a substitute greens. Similar.
What about kale? What about kale? Or because that's pretty prominent and nice to get. So that's seasonal, too. But kale's a good one. Or spinach, would that count? Would that maybe work?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Any, like you say, any greens, leaves are good for seniors.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And and for the fiber, really very important. Keep your system cleaned out and keep the inflammation down. The more you can eat of anything green and fibery and right. And don't overcook it, keep it fresh. Keep the island vibe going, fresh.
Yes.
No, I mean, you're on the right track, right?
Right, we try to.
And it's hard. We find the same thing with our WIC program that we have. We provide, American commodity food, the cheese, the milk, just the basic stuff like that. And people immigrate to this country and that's not what they eat, right? So they have the same problem where it's like, well, what do I do with this? What do I do with cold cereal, right?
Yeah. And a lot of PIs are lactose intolerant.
Yes,
because that's not part of their diet. Yes. I just have a quick question, Mara. What would be a great substitute for salt?
There's a lot of seasonings that are no salt seasonings now. You can get some really good no salt seasoning. Or you can use onions and you can use garlic and things like that. But just plain salt, I would say a salt-free seasoning. You could get it for $1 at the dollar store, or I've seen them even at Safeway for fairly cheap. Just a salt-free seasoning, it would be what I would choose. Or onions, chives, something like that, maybe that you can chop up, garlic.
Yeah. Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of the best answer I have for salt, because salt is salt. The other thing I would say is use a tiny bit instead of a lot.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
That could be okay too.
Thank you so much, Mara. I know your time. We go over the board here. Again, like I said, we're using our coconut time here. It's like 7 o'clock. It's kind of 8 o'clock on our time.
Island time.
Watch it,
Island
watch
time.
it, watch it, watch it, Fatima, because you're putting us on the spot here. Come on.
It's okay. I'm out on Vashon Island right now. I'm kind of on island time. I mean, I'd rather be in Hawaii, but no.
Oh no, we're talking about the lateness. 2 hours behind.
Yeah, that's same island time. I get
it.
Thank you so much for understanding, and thank you for your time and your patience.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mara.
You're welcome, and I'll get back to you, Malia, with some of your question.
Okay. For many
Thank
people,
you.
for many people, a barrier to healthy eating is not being able to afford the right types of food. Are there any resources available that you can share with us?
Yeah, well, if you qualify for, if you're 184% of poverty and you qualify for the SNAP program, for the EBT, that's very beneficial. And I would say with COVID, there are some state programs right now. A lot of the ones that I'm familiar with are, like I said, teenagers and under related, but there is a lot of help through the state, the county, and the city for certain programs on fresh fruits and vegetables right now. With the Fresh Bucks program and with Complete Eats and Safeway matching, if you have the SNAP EBT card, those are some big ones this time of year, right this second. But there's a pandemic EBT for kids, and there's some tax credits and that sort of thing. But just for actually going shopping, I would search for coupons. I would make a list. I would know exactly what you want to buy, and I would stay away from shopping processed foods at the store. That's actually a good resource tip.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are the main ones I have, but there might have been something else that I sent. There's a COVID hotline. Have you sent that out before, Christina? The COVID hotline for all the food resources?
Yeah, but I think it's always good to repeat. Do you want me to find the number?
That number, or the there's a link for the city of Seattle with COVID resources, food resources. Yeah. And that food, because it links all the food banks.
Yeah, we already put it up. We put it up, for the week for the farmers market program vouchers, the SNAP markets match, the grocery store SNAP incentives is on our page, and fruit and vegetable prescription. And also, thank you, Christina, for sharing that. And go ahead, and share whatever you think it's more, or announce anything, the more the better that we know about. Yeah.
Christina, I have an important question, but I'll wait till you finish before I ask my question. It's related to COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, and I think we can do that question, and then we'll have to wrap up. But
yes.
Maybe Mara can provide resources over email, or if there's further topics on a future show.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that sounds good. You let me know, Christina.
I have a question. Do you have to have a EBT card to apply for these things for the COVID-19 food?
Not necessarily for some of the COVID resources, because it talks about food banks and community centers, church meals, things like that. So no, not necessarily at all. I'm trying to look up that link really quick here. If not, if I send you the link for the City of Seattle COVID food resources, Christina, can you get that to people?
Yes, and then Sylvia's great about getting them posted on the page.
Okay, I will send you that, because it's a good food resources link, and no, you don't have to have it as an EBT for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, I think everybody, Malia, do you still have any more questions?
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for.
Thank you, Malia. Ofatu.
Thank you, Malia.
Ofatu.
Thank you, Pastor Noah from the Nigeria community. He's a community leader. And also, thank you so much, Sina. Sina, I'll let you. I heard that you have one more question to ask Christina before we wrap up.
Okay. Hey, Christina. From February until this month, I took charge of registering individual to get COVID vaccine, first and second doses, and I did complete hundreds of them. Majority are islanders.
Mhm.
So my question is, I have a lot of calling back and say, Sina, I took my first doses, and I forgot my second dose. And I say, how long have you realized that you forgot? It was past 7 days. So that's one. And the next question is, they did complete first doses, and then they move out of or left the state, go to a different state,
Mhm.
and then realized it was past 14 days, and they have not taken their second doses. And then also, I also have some individual that did have COVID, and they wanted to know, it's just past 2 months. Can I get my vaccine? Some I knew that they did have COVID, and it's not past, uh, the 40 days or whatever. It's supposed to be 90 days.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the misunderstanding and miscommunication between myself and and I share with the city only what I knew.
Yeah.
I cannot force individual to tell me more than what they tell me.
Mhm.
But can you share a little bit of is it safe for them to go back after 30 days from getting their first doses and get second doses, or reschedule a brand new first and second dose?
No, it's absolutely safe to get a delayed second dose. It's recommended to stay to that 3 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on the vaccine, because that's how the vaccines were tested. So when we say a vaccine is 95% effective, that's based on receiving the first dose and then 3 weeks later, the second dose, for example, for Pfizer. So that's where those recommendations come from. And that is what we recommend you following, because that's what we know that works. But evidence from a lot of countries and things that are coming in shows that people can get the delayed second dose and it'll still be fine.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah, and especially if you go to a King County clinic, so Auburn or Kent, there's a lot on the website, or Lumen Field. They should be able to say that they missed their first dose or they missed their second dose, and people there will be able to help and advise them. I'm not sure, did they go to a large volume vaccination site, or did you do a community vaccination event?
Community. Like the individual that I signed up, they go all under the First Tongan community.
Yeah.
So for those individuals that I provide codes for all of them, they do not have any issue. They just go in, show the code, and from the community that I signed them under, and then I'll go in with no problem. My only issue is that I want you to verify it is okay that they miss it by this many days and they can still go back, do the same location that they received the first dose and get their second dose, right?
Yes. And if it was through a community vaccination event, that they received the first dose, but then they missed the second dose. Bye, Mara. Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys. I put the food resource in the chat too.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much, Mara.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mara, for your time, and thank you for being patient with us. And we look forward to program with you again in the future. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Christina. So that's important information that I will share with them, especially individuals that are having the delay issue.
Yeah, so they should not worry. Nobody's going to get angry. It won't affect their health.
Okay.
I would recommend going to a King County vaccination site and just explaining the situation.
Okay.
And somebody will be able to help them and get their second dose.
Good.
And just make sure they have their vaccination card so that they can match the type of vaccine and Yeah, and then they'll fill it out so the person has proof of vaccine.
Okay. Thank you very much, Malo.
Mahalo.
All right, Dima, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sina. And we're coming to the conclusion of our program with the King County. Thank you so much. Christina predict, that she is the public health information officer for Seattle and King County. And thank you for all the updates on COVID-19 in King County and also about the vaccine and COVID-19 updated information.
Hello.
Also, best regards to you, Mark Arabrook. He left already, but he's also from King County. He was able to talk about the new eviction prevention program, and also Mara Andres, was sharing the nutrition and the connection with the COVID-19. Thank you all.
Thank
We're
you.
also looking forward. Thank you for being patient with the islanders, time. And again, thank you, Malia, and also Malia from the Pikawa Pacific Islanders of Washington Association, and also Sina from the Tongan Community Association for the Senior, and also Pastor Noah from the Nigeria, and also Amelias is also listening in, but she was not able. She's at the ER right now from the Fijian community, and also I have Marshallese also, they're tuning in, and many others, that they're saying that they're in a group together, listening to all this great information. I don't have enough words, to say and express our sincere thanks, to the King County for putting up, all this great, resourceful and relevant information to share with our Pacific Islanders information. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Malo Alpito.
Malo.
Monofua tofa soifua. Pula minaka nisan pula. I have to learn my Marshallese. Yeah. Marshallese. Thank you all. Okay, Pastor Noah, thank you. And we'll give you the end of our Pacific melody, and then we're ready to do our final conclusion for our program today. Thank you.
Those
Yeah, go for malo bed, thank you everyone for participating on our Pacific Islanders broadcast today. This is really a great resourceful information, and I'm so happy that we were able to get all this information that majority of our Pacific Islanders needed. The Eviction Prevention and Rental Assistance Program. Ko ia ko ki mautau ko mautau ki huto mui mai fa malo te heni ki a latu wa kau malo apito e tokon mo vai ta programa. Ka ko Eviction Prevention and Rental Assistance Program. Ko programa ko ni ok tokon ni ki ha taha pe ok rent. Pe ka pau o ki a hao api o ki a kakaya ok rent. O ko kau ka toa pe eni i he programa ko ni. Pe ka pau o ko ha taha fa ko hao family. Ka aku na rent me ia koe. O ko kau ka toa eni ko i ngā koe paanga lahi na i tuku mai e he pure anga ke tokoni. Mahalo na e ia upe o lau miliona a e paanga ko tuku mai pia ko vahe atu ia. Ko ia ko ki mautol ko ia ko ni osi tuku i atu e sela. Sela ka tak pe moa ke toi tuku i atu ko e tokoni ko e rent-help.kingcounty.gov. Ko e fwoi ko aluhanga ton pe ko ke rent-help.kingcounty.gov. Ka pauleva o ku hange whamanmana i ke tūri koe. Pea o kia e ngai polokalama ke tokoni ke te koe. O ka pau o i kai ke lava o totongi honofo anga. Ko e tau mu aia o e polokalama e aho ni. Ke vahe atu ai ngahi information koe ni na e omi me he county. Pea o kaire vai whika telefoni o lava ke toni i ai koe ki he hange ko ia ka pa o kai ke fu lava o fetutaki i he lefa pitania po lefa palangi. Ko i telefoni sela te ukata ke to tuku ia koe ua noa ono. Fa fitu taha tolu taha. Ua noa ono. Fa fitu taha tolu taha. Ka koe manatu i koe telefonia koe ni. Ka pau ko hataha une fie mau. Ka pau ke rea whakahamoa, rea whakatonga, rea whakawhisi. Pe koe peha lea. It doesn't matter whatever language. But if you need some assistance, and you can call this number, 206-477-1331. Pea ko inga ko rental assistance program, ko e saitaha pe ke alu o kui ko rent-help.kingcounty.gov. Hangaleva ngawe aki ai information ko ni, ke lava ke mao hawhainga maalie. Te agua o peke ke alu fo imahina hiva ki mui. Fo imahina hiva ke foki ai ki mui. O toi ngā aue ake ai whenga maria koe ni. Ai ko fo imahina hiva koe ni. Ai koe tau pehene ni ka pauna e kamata mai me tau ko osi. Pe ko me ko ia o e tau ko osi. O os lava peke ke alu ke claim ka toa ka pau te ke ma o hawhenga maria. Ke lava o toe whaile, ke lava o ate ngai tokoni ko ni ke tāpuni katoa ai ngai taimi ko ni na ke tō mui ai mo ke owa e seniti, pea e lava le ke tōni i koe i he taimi whainga taa ko ni. Ko iai, ngau e lewa ai whainga mali ko ni, ko taimi pe eni. Ko ia ai pa o te iai pe mga hipolo kalama ko ia, o ki kai ko taha pe ko ne mau e ne food stamp. O ku lava pe ni ke mau katoa ngai hipolo kalama ko ni, ai mea koe week me he farmers market o kai nau ngai polokalama voucher lava pe tufatu koe snap market match koe mea taha koe grocery store snap incentives ngai polokalama ke koe ni e lava ke o atu ia ke tokonet ka koe o au ke polokalama koe fruit and vegetables prescription aia koe ngai prescription koe ni o lava ke maua ai hange ko silini ke whakatau a ko fuluti fuai a kau vesta polo i ngahi wharekoloa Safeway katoa ko ia i Washington. Aia ko o fuai a kau vesta polo pea to lava foki o ngawe aki pea moho o ngahi hange ko o ngahi prescription ko ia ngai fuai a kau ke toko ni atu ki a koe. Ko ia te ke ngawe aki lewa, pea ko ngahi information ko ni o ataia o a o ki sune ko ia aho ulaki. Sune aho ulaki tau ni, wa awhi wataha. Pea o hange pen halo tali, ko first come first serve. Ko ia pe mua mai, pea e whatatau me ai mau e ngai whenga marie, pea ka os lewa ko paureke ke whenga ke hau he wawe taha. Ko ia o kai pe ngai website ko no mau tuku atu, ko freshboxseattle.org/application-information. O ku i kai ke ilo pe te ke mau katoa e ni ka te mau tuku atu ia i he la, ka koe ni ko sihanga e sela o tuku atu ia ke shared ka ki mō tolu ke mō ngawe aki. Ai ngahi information koe ni. Pea mō toi whanongo pe ki ngai whehu i koni na e whaka eke ko ia ki a Mark Ellerbrook o Mark Ellerbrook fo ko ia o ngawe. E tawhaaki ko ia ai hange ko ni ko ta ofi ko ia ke i kai ke ngofua ke turi hataha pe mo ngai polo kalama ko ke tokoni ka pau o ko ke rent i ha api. Fe tu taki lewa pe i he taimini ke ngai polo kalama ko ni ai county ke na tokoni i koe ke owa na aturi koe kai ke totongi ho reni pea oku i kai ke ngofua ka ke ngawe aki a ngai polo kalama ko alupe ke rent R-E-N-T dash help H-E-L-P dot king mo osi ilo pe King County hono si pela .gov G-O-V ai ko hinke government rent dash help dot kingcounty.gov ko alpe ki ai ma ka to whakai ki me ai ke tokoni i ki moto ke lava ke mo ngawe aki ai ngai whenga maria ko ni pea lava le ke to ate mawhasia pea mho oiri fia na aturi koe pea mei he ngai api ko ia o ke nofo ai ko e taimi e ni ke ngawe aki ai fustilin lahi ko ia lau miliona ko ia ko o mai e federal government mo pure anga ke tokoni aki ai kakai o kawa ki tau tolu koni u tau whakautua i he King County. Ko ia, ko e mea peu te whamanata tu, mō ngawe aki eni. Pea ka pau, if you're Marshallese or anybody from a different language, you can always just go into rent-help.kingcounty.gov. Pea ke mau katoa ngai whakamaria. And for those of you that need language help or interpretation or translator, you can call this phone number 206-477-1331 206-477-1331. It's called language support. Ko ia te kolangen kasela ke ta et mo e tau ki fo I fas ko ni ole sa mo pero ta e te tau fo hiva ko ni frafisi e tau ki pas e peki ai. Even if you play the same.
Animalo,
koe taimini ko atu whake whamalo atu heni koe ngā koe market fisi. Market fisi te whamanata taipe o kulotonga ia na fruitcake ke mō me a hake o whatau ha mō ngai fruitcake. He whobe a mi o fruitcake ia ko ia me market fisi. Pea ku matu aki maa whake ahono totongi. O atu ia e taimini pea mo e tu ako ia e market fisi. Tēnā tō whau nā whaatokoni mai. Pea ku whamalo te peheni ki he. Thank you so much for the King County Public Health, Seattle and King County for sponsoring our program today. Also, Fiji Market or Fiji Bonanza is right on Military and the Liquor Shield. Liquor Shield, ko fe taimi pe o ke mawhasia pe ke ongosia. Whituta kia ke peko kia haloti poloka ke telefoni ko iwa noa ono. Nima noa wha, hiva fitu ni mataha. Noa ono, nima noa wha, hiva fitu ni mataha. Pea watu mea i ahono whakaiki. Ko ia rewa i e taimini, whituta kia ke rewa i e taimini. Ko Fiji Market o whamanatu atu ko e nau fruitcake. I fo pea toi amio, ha o hanga tonu foki ia. Pea toi fresh foki, ai ha o ko ia e Fiji Bonanza Market, tu ko ia Military Road, mo me ake peki ai. Pa maloa tēni hange ko ia ko veni fifita, maloa pito tokoni ke tau polokana maritio, pea pehe foki ke Helping Hands, hauki nima i e tūsite kotoa pe. Maloa pito ofa te tepo kau mai, pa pehe foki ki a Lupe Prescott, ke tamaiki ko ia o e ano masi mamo e ano ko ula mo e funga mo unga. Nā loa pita Lupe Prescott, ko rea pe whamre more, kai ke maua taha taimi ke eke ho ngai wheui. Also, next week, please tune us back in. We are going to have the mental health support, epidemiologist, ko talanoa ke ngai mahak pipihi, ka koe mental health support o kai na ngai polokalama tau koni au pito ke tako toa pe. Malo o pito e toi atu lewa tau foi fasko e ni, ta e toi tau ki foi fasko e ni, nepitu no, pe koe ole Samoa, i e taimini, maki mo tō katoa pe, wha ose ake e tau polokalama ki he whia whini. Kai kātaki pe moa ke, kore i atu ki he kātaki moa tuku atu ai information ko ia ai liko shio pa pe he whoki ki he Fiji Market. I o whamole mole pe, ko ta o mia ia i a te kita he lahi e ngahi mea ke he ma ngahi information ko ia wahi atu. Ka kui ai heni ai loto fie tokoni ko e ngahi lolo na ma umai me he ona ko ia o lolo ala pasita ko ne fie tokoni pe. Ko ngā ko lahi fie ma lolo ai ki nau tolu ko ia me he Pikawa Pacific Islanders. Pea mai ia ina ngahi mea ofa ko ngahi lolo kakala ko he ilala. Kalosipani, Moisiale, pea pehefa ke ngahi lolo manongi pea alaha. Thank you so much, Losella Brown. Ma lo apito loto fie tokoni. Na ne tokoni foki ke o mai ai lolo. O ave ai ngahi pua lolo ai Tongan Sisters. Pe foki ke Photo Twins. Pea oku nau loto honga ia i he loto fie tokoni ko ni. Ka mo fie mau ke mo otaha mo lolo. Te mo lava pe o fetu taki whahangatona ke pe kia Losella Brown, ko ni na e tokoni mai o toi tau mai ai poha lolo ko e o mai pe ke tuwha atu kia ki nau tolu ko ia i he polokalama ko e whika telefoni ko e fitu ono noa ka tak Marcella o tuku i atu fitu ono noa ua ono taha hiva nima tolu ono Losella Brown pia mo e lolo a la pasita fitu ono noa ua ono taha hiva nima tolu ono pia loto honga ia au pito ai loto fie tokoni. Pa pefa ke lolo kakala te au, o kui heni pe whoka e tare kita koe lolo kakala te au, ai a ko latu hua kau, koe ua noa ono, hiwa taha tolu tolu noa noa, mo e ngahi kato teu whafo ofa ki hao whainga katoanga. Apisia, pe ko hao mari, pe ko hao whai aho, o kune ngahi kato o mahulu atu, a ene whaka ofa pe mo e te mo usioa. Ua noa ono, hiwa taha tolu tolu noa noa, pea koe ni e o atu lewa i he taimini ai sponsor ko ia pea me he Fiji Market pea pehe whoki ki he Liquor Shield ke tau whaka ose aki. Malo.
Hello, welcome to Bamboo Fiji Bazaar. We are here to help. Largest collection of Indonesian and Polynesian and Micronesian community. So you're welcome in anytime. We are open 7 days a week from 10 o'clock till 7 o'clock, and Sunday is 10 to 4. So all of our leaders are welcome. Indian, Pakistanis, Polynesian, Micronesian. We have all the community stuff right under one roof. Thank you.
Ko e whamanata tai pe ka paulewa o ki ai ha palopale ma o ke efi hi ai. Kai te ke ilo pe te ke hanga ki whē ke tōni ai koe. Pea mawhasia holo tō puputu o ho whakaukau. Pe tō taki lewa i he ahoni kia halot puloka ke ne tōni i koe. Koe telefoni, koe wanoa ono, nima no whahi wa fitu nima taha. Ka mata pe ki pāngai wa nima he mahina hange hau insiwa. Koe hoko mai pe ha whaahinga mea o kai te ke ilo pe e anga whewhe. Ai solova ho palopale mahe ko mawhasia ho whakakaukau. Pea puputu ai mea o ku hoko mai ki a koe o i kai te ke ilo pe te ke hanga ki whe. Ko ia, ko i ngai whenga maari e whakaotu waini ke o atu ke tokoni ke toko takotape. Te pea wheitu ke mea mai miai i Amerikani. Telefone ke lewa ke wanoa ono, nima noa wha hiwa fitu ni mataha ki a Michael Halot Puloka. Ko ia ko ki motaulu koe nei o tako mo mani o ke moi uwhi o ku i kai ko si haloti ko e mani o ke whaka si aus Puloka ko ki nau tolu ko nau ome u tā me tonga ko ngai palpale mā ko i kai ke hawe u tā i he taimi ko ia u whai kai tala noa. Ka ko ne wawe taha ko ne tau mai pe ko mau whitu take lewa ki a koe ke ai lewa ho uta mani o ke i he wawe taha pea pehe whoki ki hao uwhi kaho ifo pea amio pea ke enjoy ai pe sama kai ai pe ifo pea loloi tari ai pe ke mani o ke mui o pui ko mani o ke minite nima. Mani o ke minite nima ko o haka pe ko au ata minite pe nima pea ke tuku hifo ai kulo kai tuku ai pe ke mo lu pe amio au ata e nei fo pe toi amio. Ko iai ma wa main ke fa osinga ko ia e polo kalama pe o kai fa malo and thank you to everyone to Christina Bredick, Mark Ellabrook, and also Mara Andres. Thank you for taking your time to share all the relevant information with our Pacific Islanders community, Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, Marshallese, including Nigeria. Thank you all, and we wanted to invite you for tomorrow for our Sao ngao Samoa, rồi polo kalama maria na tautuku, kaya ika ngata po tayo pa may polo kalama kaya kawa, tutuko ko ya polis ko tupo, makasta nga ba lutu. Kaya ika ngata ko moni ke ko tabi, kaya ni mo pangalupe, kaya na polo kalama makin ke moni ke ko ini, pati ya tabi ko mo tolu. Tusi ke ko tabi, helping hands. Kaya pulelo lo wika hao, kaya may polo kalama makin, makahi information na ito ko ni kati ko mo may King County. Malo api ka hobo mea mai, kapana ato o katamia na kay tingo matao, o kore ato te fai te ai lele taha. Kini mo tau whahao a, ka Silvia Fatima Tani Aho, te whaki kime radio engineer, is Stella Tipofus Pala te Rilo. Mo whamarato tai pe e ka mea wha eki ke wika u, ko whai lotu, o ata ia, ke taho kota pe ki he si apsia o wha e fita, ko Akosita Langi. Kone maloloin I hono tau whino furumao no. Te whakahoko katoa e uwhai lotu I Open Seventh Adventist aia koia I Openi. Ana whakahoko ai mea whakaeki koia o Simoni te rilo kone mama o atu. Koia e whai ai ngai whai lotu I ai e pure luru koia o I wike kahau ai koi aho wao no ia o me. Ke aho a fitu e whai a ano a aho ka mata pe me tolu e whiawhi ke he walu. Ke a I whalai ke e whakaha e na lewa ki e la e. Koe o whawhi e tai pihene ngā siasi, koe ngā ki wha e whita koe ni, ke mou mea mai, ke tau kau ngā kau pe I hono whaapapa I a si mo ui ai wha e ngā e tau lahi a ene I he kolo e malata, ke a mo whai whaapapa wha osi ke hene mo ui, mo ata whanonga mai ki whanau paia. Malo apito mo mea mai, ka mo mea. Thank you everyone. Goodbye you all.